in the United States was to see American flags everywhere. So it seems weird to say that. I know some Americans.
हेलो दोस्तों, आज दोबारा हाजिर हुआ हूँ एक नए रिएक्शन के साथ। मेरा नाम सलमान है और आप सभी को वेलकम करता हूँ एसकेसी रिएक्ट्स में। तो आज हम देखने जा रहे हैं कल्चर शॉकिंग फॉर अ फ्रेंच गर्ल इन यूएस। काफ़ी मज़ेदार वीडियो होने वाली है आज की। मेरे साथ रहें, पूरी वीडियो देखें। आइए चलते हैं और शुरू करते हैं आज की वीडियो।
Coucou tout le monde, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about some of the culture shocks I experienced while I was living abroad in the United States for 5 years. To go somewhere new. So the first culture shock I experienced was right off the gate, right when I came out of the car in the United States, was to see American flags everywhere. So it seems weird to say that. I know some Americans were like, what do you mean? Yeah, we have flags everywhere. That's normal. It's our country. But just weird because it's not something we're used to. Like in France, you won't see that many flags. You will see French flags on like government buildings and stuff like that. But usually people won't have French flags in their front yard or whatever. But in the US, it's a lot more common. I mean, I know so many people that have American flags in their front yard. It's just something we don't really do in France. So yeah, coming to the United States and seeing American flags everywhere in people's backyard, in people's front yard, in people on top of people's car, it was just something, I don't know, it's just really fun to see, and I loved it. I think it's pretty cool that people are really proud of their country and put flags everywhere. I think it's cool. I feel like maybe it's a little too extra because I'm not used to it, but I think it's really cool. It's just like the first American culture shock I experienced.
यार ये तो पुराना हो गया कि ये बता रही है कि फर्स्ट कल्चर शॉक जो इसको लगा वो अमेरिकन फ्लैग को लेकर लगा इसको। इसने हर जगह अमेरिकन फ्लैग देखा, इवन कि स्कूलों के ऊपर भी अमेरिकन फ्लैग लगा हुआ देखा इसने, बिल्डिंग्स पर, बैकयार्ड पर। इस पर तो मैं यही कहूँगा कि ये इनका जो लॉ है या कुछ भी कह लो, बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त है अमेरिका वालों का।
So the second one is pretty obvious, but it's gun culture. So gun culture is really big in the United States. You have the Second Amendment with the right to carry a gun and defend yourself, something you don't have in France. So I grew up in France and I lived there 17 years before going to the United States. So for 17 years, I grew up not around guns at all. I only saw guns on police officers and I never touched a gun in my life. So I came from that and then came to the United States in Pennsylvania, where there are a lot of hunters and people that believe in the Second Amendment. And it was huge. It was a huge culture shock because I came in and I had so many people talking about the Second Amendment, that carry guns around, that had many guns in the house, that go, I don't know, it was just such a big culture shock, you know? And yeah, so I went to the gun range many times because, like I said, I had a lot of friends that had guns themselves. So they took me to the gun range, kind of taught me how to use a gun safely and how to shoot targets and stuff like that, which was really fun, and I'm glad I got to experience that. But I still never got used to gun culture. Even after 5 years, I lived around a lot of people that carry guns. I seen a lot of guns, I touched a lot of guns, I shot some guns, but I never really got used to it. Because I think growing up for 17 years in a country that doesn't have that culture, even after 5 years, it just doesn't change the fact that it's kind of scary to you because you didn't grow up around them. And yeah, I think it's just something I would probably never completely get used to, but I'm glad I got the chance to go to gun range and stuff like that. So another thing that was kind of a culture shock for me when coming to the United States was seeing the school spirit around each school that we don't really have in France. So for example, like in France, like clothes wise, in the United States you can get so many clothes related to your school, and not in France. In France right now in my college you probably can get one shirt, maybe one hoodie with your school logo on it, and that's pretty much it, and that's already
अच्छा, फ्रेंडशिप के हवाले से भी इसको बड़ा कल्चर शॉक लगा है जो कि ये बता रही है।
big deal, like, oh, there is one shirt with a logo on it. In the United States, like, people own like 5 hoodies with their logo, their school logo on it, and like 5 t-shirts and 2 cups and 10 pencils and whatever. In high school and colleges you can find stores, like their own school will have a store selling so many derived products about their school. Like, just so weird to me because we don't have that in France at all. So it's really fun to see. I think it's really cool that people are so proud in their school, and that it kind of creates a really school spirit. People are kind of tight, because they're like from the same school. So I think this is really cool. So another culture shock was 24-hour stores. So it's a really fun, lighthearted culture shock, but in France you will not find 24-hour stores. Actually our stores close pretty early. I think it's like around 9:30 p.m. at night, and sometimes it closes on completely on Sundays or at least the afternoon. So it was really weird to see stores that are open 24 hours and many of them. So one of the most
अच्छा, ये तो मैं भी कहूँगा कि बहुत ही अच्छी बात है कि वहाँ के जो अमेरिका के स्टोर्स हैं वो 24/7 आवर्स खुले हुए होते हैं। मतलब मैं सोचता हूँ ना कि मौत का और ग्राहक का भरोसा नहीं है, वो कभी भी आ सकते हैं। तो इसके लिए अगर स्टोर एनी टाइम खुले हुए हैं तो बिल्कुल ही मैं कहता हूँ वेल डन।
famous Walmart. I think it was just so weird to me. I remember one time I was at my friend's house and it was like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and we were so bored. Like we didn't know what to do and we didn't want to go to sleep yet. And she said like, oh well, let's go to Walmart and let's go buy some stuff. And it's just so weird. You can do that because you can do that in France. So it's just really fun to me that you can go at 1 a.m. in a store and go buy stuff, and it's just something that we can do in France, so it's really fun to be able to do it somewhere else. So one other big culture shock I experienced, and I talk about it in many videos, is customer service. So customer service is completely different in France and the United States. And when you come to the United States, when you're used to it, it's really weird to be at a restaurant and having waitress come to you many times to ask you how you're doing, if your food is good, if you need a refill. Like it's so weird because when you go to France, like people, like waitress don't come to you. Like you have to ask them to come to you or they won't. Like you just sit down, they will give you your plate and stuff like that, but that's it. They don't come to ask you how you, I mean, it's more rare. It's coming in a little more, but it's more rare and you just don't have that kind of customer service. So that was really strange. I didn't like it at first because I was like not used to it, so I'd like to be able to eat without anyone talking to me. But then I'm more used to it, and now I'm back to France. I like miss it a lot because sometimes in restaurants you will like be trying to find a waiter. It will take so much time. You're like, please, can someone come refill my water? And it will take so much time. But in the US, you don't even have to ask. Like they will come and they will refill your water and ask you how you're doing. And so yeah, there's a lot more customer service, I guess. So I miss that a lot. Another culture shock was
अच्छा, तीसरी बात कि कस्टमर सर्विस जो है वहाँ की इसकी बातों के मुताबिक बड़ी मशहूर है अमेरिका की।
the difference in the relationship between students and teachers between France and the US is pretty different. In France it's a lot more strict and in the US it's a lot more chill. So in France I would not really, especially in high school, I would not really talk to my teachers in between breaks or outside of school. You know, if you see them, I would not ask them certain questions. I will be, I don't know, I will not feel very confident in talking with them. But in the US, teachers are so much chill. Like, the first time they introduce themselves, it's really funny. They usually talk about their personal life. I mean, I know a lot more about their personal life than I probably should. In France, I don't know almost anything about my teacher's personal life in high school. And yeah, so yeah, that was really funny to see. And even it just, you feel more comfortable talking to them. You feel like you can. I mean, even sometimes I will have questions that is not completely related to the actual class, but something related to that, or I had a problem, or as an exception. So, you know, I was saying that sometimes I had other problems, and I will feel confident, like talking to them and asking them questions. They will be so open to help me out. But in France, like it's not like that so much in high school. You know, you barely talk to your teachers. It's now the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like and turn on the bell, because apparently YouTube doesn't even notify the subscribers if I post videos, or at least not every single time. So if you do want to get notified, turn on the bell. And yeah, and I will see you next time. À la prochaine.
दोस्तों, मैं जो है ऐसे कल्चर शॉक्स देख के अमेरिका के मुतालिक पर्सनली अगर मैं कहूँ तो मैं भी बड़ा जो है ना अमेरिका को पसंद करने लगा हूँ वहाँ पर आने के लिए और उसको विज़िट करने के लिए। मुझे मेरे दिल के अंदर बड़ा शौक़ पैदा हो गया है। आपको कल्चर शॉक कौन सा अमेजिंग लगा इस फ्रेंच गर्ल का, हमें कमेंट सेक्शन बॉक्स में ज़रूर बताइएगा। अगर रिएक्शन पसंद आया हो तो इस वीडियो को लाइक करें, हमारे चैनल को करें सब्सक्राइब, पेट्रियन पर सपोर्ट करना मत भूलिएगा। मिलते रहेंगे, अपना ख्याल रखें, अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।